What did we think of this upset win over the Chiefs in Cincinnati? Now, this team has taken down both 1 seeds on their way to SoFi.
I can believe that the Bengals won. I can't believe how they won. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. First of all, Bengals, amazing. The list of quarterbacks to get to Super Bowls in their first 2 seasons is mostly Hall of Famers. The list of head coaches to start 3-0 in the playoffs is a lot of Hall of Famers. It was incredible. But what is that expression? If it bleeds, it leads. Yeah. The Chiefs are bleeding like a stuck pig. So let's just remember how this happened. It's not just that the Bengals won. They're losing 21-3. It's the Chiefs are rolling. This is rock and roll. This is hip hop up and down the field. Touchdown, party. The Super Bowl was last week when we beat the Bills. It was over. Mm-hmm. This is just the after party. This is the 3rd touchdown, and it's on. The game is over. Bring on the NFC champ. Romo is saying on the call, this is ridiculous. And Hardman's dancing. And then, oh, my God, if you would have said that the Bengals won this game watching it, you wouldn't think they're going to stay within 20 points. It was just the Chiefs show, and it was Mahomes, another one in his reel. I cannot believe that the Chiefs were this bad and this cataclysmic in the second half to go from 3 for 3 to start the game to punt, interception, loss. Like, this was not 28-3.
It was close.
It was 21-3, and this is at home, and this is against a team that had not been there, has inferior personnel. We're going to talk about it for, I don't know, the next 6 months, the next 50 years. Bengals, awesome Super Bowl, awesome game. Chiefs, what in the bleeping hell was that? That was a terrible letdown, Chris. Terrible.
You can never take momentum for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're watching that game, yes, it was hip-hop. It was everything Kansas City wanted. Guys dancing in the end zone.
Let's go.
But when they don't get any points, and then they were getting ready to get the double-double, where you can get points before halftime and they're getting the kickoff. But no, the Bengals and that defense. That's how you beat a number 1 seed on the road in Tennessee, which was the best team in the AFC. That's how you beat the number 2 seed. That was the 4th straight year playing the AFC Championship. But you got to have a guy, man. I don't care about all that other one. When you're making plays, you need to make sure that, do we have a guy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Bengals, that's what Eli Apple has seen. That's what all the other defenders seen. If we can get a stop, if we can get a stop, we got one of those special guys. And Kay, I didn't even know that Joe has the possibility to be Heisman, national champ, and now Super Bowl champ with the Cincinnati Bengals.
In a second year.
From Ohio? I'm from Ohio. I live 30 minutes from Cincinnati. I've been on TV covering this team bad season after bad season. 99% of the players that come into this league, they need a support system. And no one thought that Cincinnati could support the talent of Joe Burrow. But what'd they do? Oh, no, we're not going to draft the big offensive lineman. We're going to give him a little toy to play with. That's what Joe needs. And I'm going to tell you the thing that was shocking for me.
What?
Yesterday when I saw him walking up to the game, I'm like, oh, my goodness. With the tinted glasses on, the winter coat. Okay, that reminded me of Joe Montana when people were wondering, wow, where'd this guy come from? And how his teammates loved him and gravitated to him. Amazing story, but you got to have one of those guys. And since he got that in Joe.
Or that look might have been a little Joe Namath, too.
Talk about it.
And you have those guys that it's just, that's my quarterback. I will follow him through thick and thin, through fire, and that's what he is. And I remember speaking at the Combine with Zach Taylor before that draft, and there's a lot of rumors that Joe Burrow might not want to go to Cincinnati, that he's, he might not want to be there. And Zach, off the record, is telling me, like, you could offer us 5 first-round picks. That guy's going to be the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. He's from Athens, Ohio. Right. He is Ohio. And if anyone ever is going to change this franchise, it's that guy. And for it to actually happen, and gosh, Kyle, you were talking about it. I think you could spin it 2 ways. You could say it's an all-time collapse by the Chiefs, which it is, or it's an all-time comeback by the Bengals. Let's go into that. There's 5 seconds left at the end of the second quarter, and it's 21-10, and it's like, all right, kick the field goal. And they get cute. They're like,
crazy.
Field goal's not enough. A 14-point lead's not enough. Let's go. Let's put the kill shot on them. And then the play call is a little wide receiver screen to Tyreek, and they stop him. All right, we get the ball back, though, right? We get the ball back. All right, so everyone in the building is listening to Walker Hayes and the Applebee's song. You can't hear a word Boomer is saying. And then we come out here, and it's like the defense steps up.
With some whipped cream.
Oh, I love the Applebee's song. I couldn't hear a word CBS was saying. That's okay. Right. And then here we go. It's 3 stops in the defense. And then you saw the sideline. You could see. And Kay, we were in the building in Arrowhead. And Chris, you mentioned, I call it Uncle Mo.
It's Uncle Mo.
Momentum.
Yes.
You feel it.
Don't
you
take it
feel
for granted.
And I know I watch a lot of games on the couch in the studio. I was in Arrowhead. You were in Arrowhead. You felt that gust of wind coming. It's
It was
like
two different games.
you let them hang around. You let Burrow hang around. You had them. And they didn't. And Burrow and those Bengals, they never quit. I love this Bengals team. What a story. They came from all the way back and beat Mahomes and Reed in Arrowhead. And the Chiefs, they had their chance. It's not about them today. It's about the Bengals.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They overcome. That's what they came back, and that's what they've done all season long. There was a point in this season. Do you remember? I'm looking back. They got beat by the Jets. They got beat up by the Browns in back-to-back weeks, and everyone was jumping ship. There was a point in the season that we were comparing Joe Burrow to Justin Herbert. Now Joe Burrow gets to be compared to Patrick Mahomes. He just beat him. He just knocked out 2 1 seeds on the road back-to-back. So if there's any team that I would pick to overcome an 18-point deficit to the Kansas City Chiefs, it's this one. They had to overcome the media not choosing them and not picking them in the regular season, the preseason, the postseason, leading up to this game. And this moment was about everything that they've been through as a team. It's a special team. It's one that overcomes every obstacle. They overcame 9 sacks to their quarterback to get a win and somehow pulled it together. So credit to the Bengals, and they're going to be a scary out. 2 very different teams, 2 very different mentalities.
Cool.
But and there's also something going with the Bengals, Triggs. I think that they are also having to overcome the past and the ghosts of what this people think this team isn't, and the losses that they've had.
If you look at the main part of their roster, these guys come from winning programs. Joe Mixon, Oklahoma. You know, T. Higgins, Clemson.
Joe
Burrow,
LSU.
Ohio State, LSU. So they got that new blood in there to wean out some of those guys that have been around and been losing, and that's what it's hard to do in the NFL locker room.
It's a mentality, though, right? Like
Yes.
the fan base, nobody, or the national fan base for sure, media is like, it's hard to change and be progressive. You have to see it before you believe it, mostly. But this team, Shregs, there's no bleak. They don't care about what was in the past. It's like that and stuff never existed.
Yeah, and to your point, you were on ESPN, you were on Inside the NFL. For 30 years, the Bengals, Kay, have never been good. They've always been a team that's on the rise. They've never been those guys, and they're in the Super Bowl right now.
But it's never affected the confidence of this team.
No, I think it's the distant past. It's also 2 years ago, they were the worst team in football.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Bears this year. Joe Burrow threw 3 picks in a row. It was like, even this year they weren't good and they were shaky. And now they're going to the Super Bowl. It's an awesome story.
Not to mention the fact he had to overcome a catastrophic knee injury to come back last year and to make it happen this year for this team. It's pretty stunning.